had it before. Tough job.
The Bullets were coming off a 14-point loss to the Melbourne Tigers and needed a win to try and regain top spot.
Mitchell makes the first couple.
Nice pass, Roger Smith.
The Devils had got within 7 points in Brisbane, and this was definitely a winnable home game.
Nice pacing from Darren Smith.
It was packed with highlights. Darren Perry's three-pointer for 2,000 in the NBL.
Perry! And that's 2,000! That's 2,000 points in the NBL for Darren Perry!
The class of Australia's best point guard, Shane Heal.
Heal gets a three. Likes him out there.
The hammer.
The magic of the 37-year-old leaping Leroy Loggins.
Leroy Loggins.
Leaping Leroy.
Andre Moore, discarded by the Bullets last year, had a few points to prove, and his rebounding was spectacular.
Oh, Andre Moore.
At both ends of the court, Darren Smith was inspirational.
Nice pumping. Great move.
He and Jerome Scott were the playmakers in an enthralling scrap.
Jerome Scott, how about this play?
It was always close, but David Stiff's early foul trouble proved crucial.
5 on David.
Three-quarter time, scores level. Enter the quiet, unassuming Bruce Palmer. Yes, he certainly gets involved.
Now there's been a foul call on the bench. Oh, Bruce Palmer is going off his tree.
The last period was a thriller, with the Bullets gun stepping up and managing to hang on by 2 points.
Shane Heal had 12 points in the final quarter, including 7 of Brisbane's last 9. Andre Moore, 15 points and 15 boards to dominate the centre against his former team. David Stiff, who fouled out yet again, now leads the league in fouls per game. He averages 5.
Big a boy when you see him next to a small boy. But I wonder how he scrubs up in the shower. Yeah, you heard me right. Bailey and Utah in the shower. What is this? A soapy of a different kind? No, just time to come clean. You see, Man Mountain Utah likes to sing. Maybe a quick Dean Martin rendition for HG and Roy at the club.
Cha-cha-cha d'amour, take this song to my lover. Shoo, shoo, little bird, go and find my love. Cha-cha-cha d'amour, serenade at her window. Shoo, shoo, little bird.
Lovely stuff, Dino. But when you use your own voice, well, we're not letting you sing anywhere else but in the shower.
Australians, all that does rejoice. Little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. Oh, won't you come home, Tim Bailey? Won't you come home? Channel 10 can't live without you. The weather's struggling, Timmy. The news is tough. Won't you come home, Tim Bailey?
So how does Big Dino go from dunking and blocking to singing that's shocking?
It's just good fun, and you know, people don't know me that well. They don't know what sort of bloke I am. They think, you know, big, tall, you know, silly looking goofy. Might as well act like one too. So I had good fun, and as long as you can enjoy it, that's what it's all about.
So bring in the ladder. Time for the smallie to talk to the tallie.
Dino,
How you doing, Tim?
you've turned it all around, haven't you?
4 in a row now. We're rolling.
You had some doubts personally about 4 weeks ago. You were thinking about giving the game away, but you've got a bit of spirit in there.
Yeah, you know, it's been an up and down year for me, and about a month ago I was really struggling a little bit before, and you know, I started blaming a lot of people, and took a good hard look in the mirror one day, and you know, I thought the Sydney Kings was a great organization to be involved with, and I've been in the league a long time, and I certainly don't want to go out halfway through the year. We want to try to win the championship this year, and so far we're playing like we can do it.
He's the owner of a big heart, this big man. Just weeks ago, it was crunch time for the Kings. He even had second thoughts about the game that he loves.
I went through a crisis, and every one of those guys stood behind me 100%. And, you know, those guys are all great blokes, and the administration's just top class. You couldn't ask for anything more.
And I've heard they'll stick behind you for a long time to come, as long as you don't sing.
Well, I hope that's not true, because these last couple of weeks I've been doing a lot of singing, but it's been great fun, and let's hope we can keep winning.
And as a singer, mate, you go all right in the basketball court.
I don't want to try taking up that nightclub job. Carpino's got nothing to worry about.
Thanks, mate.
Good idea, Timmy.
50% record. Now, Perth was protecting its place in the top 4. And on a personal level, what would Fred Cofield and Scott Fisher do about their disappointing omissions from the All-Star lineups? Just watch.
The Canberra Times Cannons had the statistics weighing heavily against them for their clash with the Perth Wildcats in Canberra. They'd lost their last 3 matches at home and hadn't beaten Perth in their last 5 encounters. Poor shooting from Perth, however, in the first half opened the door for the Cannons to reverse all that as Canberra opened a 10-point lead at the break. Fred Cofield igniting the crowd with a long-range bomb right on the buzzer. Cofield long. Perth answered the call from coach Adrian Hurley and came back at the Cannons in the 3rd quarter. It was only a hot-handed Fred Cofield that held them at bay. Cofield banged 17 points for the quarter to keep his side in front 95 to 91. Goes back out, Cofield. He still couldn't miss in the 4th quarter. And as he ran to 44 points for the game, the Cannons ran to their most impressive win of the season, 131 to 113.
Canberra won that final quarter 36 to 22. Cofield's 44, incidentally, is a new career best, and he featured 7 of 9 3-point successes. Scott Fisher's 36 was a season high and accompanied by no less than 17 rebounds. So there you go, voters for the year a little longer in the playoffs. Anyway, it's great to see him back at home finally and hooping with the Cats.
A month's break from basketball has done Luke Longley the world of good. After the disappointment of rolling his ankle during the playoffs and Chicago not making this year's NBA final.
But it's time to get back to work, get sort of basketball back in my hands, and this is a good place to do it. These guys.
Longley was right in the thick of the Bulls' turbulent season, a time when the hype surrounding Michael Jordan's comeback reached fever pitch.
I've never seen anything like it. We were under siege from the media for a month. And we called Michael Elvis. I mean, it's like travelling with Elvis, you know, it's just everywhere you go. So it gave me a different look at basketball, but we still had fun.
Longley kept a close watch on the NBA Finals series and was surprised to see the Magic surrender 4-0.
When we played them in the semis, they were a very potent offensive team, and we didn't have much luck stopping them. So I was surprised that Houston could handle them.
The 24-year-old has certainly come a long way since joining the Minnesota Timberwolves in 1991, but is still striving for the ultimate prize.
It'll be fantastic when we win a world championship.
That's your main goal at the moment?
Next year, yeah.
Longley seems right at home in the Wildcats' lair and still intends to play for Perth when his time with the Bulls is over.
As soon as I stop playing for the Bulls. I don't know when that'll be, but I do intend to spend a couple of years here, yeah.
Luke will be... Geelong put on a scoring burst in the first quarter. Curl assisting Arnold here. Both scored double figures in that quarter. Curl hit a couple of big threes to make 12 points in a hurry. The match was scrappy at times, but Geelong just kept pushing ahead. Joey Wright and Terry Johnson typify the hustle. Chuck Harmison contributed. He had 22 points, some from the outside. Curl, well, he went on to make 23 in the first half alone. Here he is spotting up for a long two-pointer. But Illawarra tightened it up again with shots like Dean McDonald's tray right on the buzzer off the Andre assist. They're down by only 3 at the halftime break. Cecil Exum had another superb all-round game. 8 of his 16 points came in the third quarter. David Graham had a strange one. He started with 9 points in the first quarter, but by the third had all but dried up. These were his only points of the quarter, and he failed to score in the last term. And that's where Illawarra lifted the pace. Glenn Saville picked up his only points of the game off a Melbourne miss, but they were valuable. Curl, well, he kept bombing away, and Geelong got away, leading by 3 with just 30 seconds to go. But the Hawks trapping zone forced turnovers. Andre in trouble, fires it out to Melbourne, who hits a big one, and the game goes into overtime. But in the extra 5 minutes, a mad scramble as the intensity, of course, lifted. Illawarra showed a little more composure. Terry Johnson shot 6 in that time to steer his team clear of the Super Cats. Nevertheless, Simon Curl set a new career high, courtesy of 8 3-point successes from only 11 attempts. Andre Lafleur had 19 points, 10 assists and 5 steals. A great display again. 3 of Illawarra's games this season now have gone into overtime. Still ahead on Sunday Basketball, a recap of the... Melbourne found itself back on top of the league without having walked on court when Brisbane lost to Melbourne on Friday. So the Magic out to hold on to that spot.
It had been 6 years since the 36ers had beaten the Magic, and both teams weren't afraid to start shooting early. With 3 minutes remaining in the opening term, the deadlock was broken when Andrew Parkinson hit the court. Parkinson's 8-point term gave the Magic a 6-point lead at the first break. Their lead shot out to 16 in the next 3 minutes. Dorge and Ronaldson dominating the paint. Adelaide hit back to cut the deficit to single figures late in the half. Mark Davis leading the way. The Magic again managed to break away midway through the third quarter. They were up by 15. Adonis Jordan was hot from downtown.
5! Caught that, says Adonis Jordan.
Early in the final quarter, this alley-oop gave the Magic a 23-point buffer. There was more to come, with McKinnon sending Anstey to the rack. A 10-point run by Adelaide added some respectability, but it was too little too late as the Magic kept top spot on the ladder with a solid 16-point victory, 113 to Adelaide's 97.
Dorge's 28 points was one shy of his career best and featured 11 from 13 shot attempts and 14 boards. Mike Mackay and Mark Davis each hit 4 out of their 6 3-point attempts. Jojo English had just 6 points. Blakemore went a little cold too, hitting only 1 of 12 shots. Very astute Ronnie Ratliff.
It's been school holidays in Queensland this week, and on the Gold Coast more than anywhere else, school kids are enjoying what the world has to offer. But for many, it's back to work, voluntarily. Not schoolwork, we're talking court time. The Gold Coast Robina Rollers spent this week putting together the Coca-Cola Junior Basketball Clinic. The school's coordinator for the club is assistant coach Ron Radliff, the only roller to have had his singlet retired, a permanent reminder of the high regard the locals have for him.
The clinic kind of gives the kids introduction to the game. We try to make the game fun. It's not a real serious clinic where they're really working hard. They're just practicing skills. We give them a lot of things they can take home and use, and we give them a basketball, so they've always got a basketball to dribble around and things like that, so it's a lot of fun for the kids.
And they turned up in their droves. Kids everywhere, dressed in street gear, NBA gear, Mitsubishi Challenge gear. Many of them were already quite proficient, but being taught by the guys they see every week has a special attraction.
The kids see all the players like on television and come to the games and see them. They don't really get to speak with them or things like that. They come to the camp, the clinic here, and they get to meet the players and see that they're real people. And I mean, these players, when they were young, they went to clinics too. And I think they get interested, they enjoy it, and they think, well, if I work hard, I might be able to get out there and play like Steve Woodbury someday.
The kids were split up into age groups. At different zones in the stadium, different skills were tested. The rollers commanded their posts and put the kids through their paces. There was running, jumping, passing, dribbling, shooting, fouling, throwing, the whole lot. After a while, they all stopped and headed to a new zone, a new player, and a new skill. The kids got to meet all the players and spend a day playing the game they love with their heroes. It pays off too. Not only does basketball become more popular in the region, but the Mitsubishi Challenge finds new fans filling the stands on game night.
Yeah, we've always had pretty good school attendance, and we're trying to get the younger kids now, the grades 1, 2, 3, and 4 kids, and I think over the next couple of years you'll see a lot more of those kids attending the games and show a lot more interest in the game.
Something special was needed to kickstart some winning streak.
With Derek Rucker carrying an ankle injury, the Suns were looking for their Australian players to step up. Jason Cameron started on the right note. Clarence Tyson had fire in his belly, grabbing 9 points and 5 rebounds in the opening quarter. The Suns had a 10-point lead at the first break. The Rollers upped the defence in the second quarter. It produced the desired results as they went on a 13-4 run. The Suns steadied the ship but couldn't shake the Gold Coast, Fred Herzog started to find range, and with just over a minute from half-time, the Rollers took the lead for the first time in the game. But Shane Froling got his side back in front, Suns up by 2 at half-time. Good positioning from Shane Froling to get the 2 and put the Suns back in front. Known as the championship quarter, the Suns looked every part a winner. Rucker and Dickinson were the stars, as Dicko had the hot hand, getting 14 vital points. Rucker was also inspirational, getting 14 as well, as the Suns were simply running hot, piling on 39 points in the quarter. Dickinson, he's feeling it at the moment. And why wouldn't he?
Is he ever?
Refusing to let this one slip, the Suns went through the motions in the final term. The only real hiccup, taking 5 minutes to score their first basket of the quarter. The Rollers couldn't capitalise, though, as the Suns started to celebrate their second win of the season.
Here tonight that they could have enough to do it comfortably. Good stuff with a big 3. That's going to help. They just need to keep it going now, the Suns. A 38-22 third quarter really was the spark. They got an 18-point lead in that final break. Rucker and Dickinson, 14 points each in that term. They, on their own, outscored the Rollers. For the Rollers, John Zaghetti claimed a new career high, and the Gold Coast took 15 more shots than the Suns, but they made a trip, and Canberra also beat the Perth Wildcats. This is Saturday games now. Southeast Melbourne, Long, a very good win, and we'll see you later.